feel like we could roll a D100. I bet you there's somebody in here who
You're
is
gonna have
like,
to roll. You're gonna have to roll it 100 times.
I think
8 wolves.
we're back. Yeah, we're back. Cool. So you want to try your hand at poker again, Adira, but this time you want to cheat? Were those the words?
To cheat. Yes.
How would you like to cheat?
Something that I could probably use Terminus with. He can see things, yeah? Like
Yes, he
you
can.
mentioned that he's able to see.
Yeah. Do you want to give me a stealth check? We can use your modifier, but for Terminus to hide, but look at what is in other people's hands and so on and so forth.
Alright.
The weirdest way of abusing your Empress Knight powers.
Unfortunately, as you know, Terminus's spirit has to manifest slightly in order to like see from a different angle and stuff like that. The poker dealer never lifts the cards higher than the lip of the table. Seems to be somewhat used to people trying to cheat at Hero. You also notice that one of the guards kind of looks over because there's like a slight mist from your waist where the emanation begins from the lantern. You see him furrow his brow at Hira. He walks over and says, excuse me, do you have some sort of artifact on you?
No, sorry.
He gestures to your waist and says, it would appear you do.
He's my pet. I am lying to him.
Give me a deception check.
He gets
It-
cranky after
oh,
some. God damn you, girl!
Your pet is slightly immaterial.
Yes.
What? Hold on. Do I have to come back and save you?
No, shut up. Stay there.
he frowns at you, Adira, and says, look, I don't know what you found or what you're trying, but unless you stop it, I'm gonna have to throw you out.
Fine. I'll make sure he behaves.
Make sure you do too.
What's this guard's name?
You asking him?
No, I'm wondering about his little, hi, my name is Keith.
He doesn't
on his
have
lapel.
a little badge that gives you his name.
A name tag.
Well, I'm gonna remember his face.
Yeah, pretty typical for the area. He's wearing white shirt with like the suspender loops over to hold up the trousers. He's also wearing fingerless gloves, and there are like weird pockets over the knuckles. It looks like there's something like, maybe there's like metal plates over the knuckles, kind of like metal knuckled gloves, but they're covered with fabric, so you can't quite see what's underneath there. You can just see it slightly bulges more on both hands. But yeah, he keeps quite a close eye on you after this, Atira, you notice.
Alright. Is there any talk that I pick up from the tables?
Yeah, give me a perception check. You hear some people mentioning a name which you think might be a surname, but everyone seems to refer to them as Castos. You think maybe they either run this casino or at least are important to the people around here. There's a little bit of a question as to like why Castos has not, why she hasn't done more to put pressure on the Empress establishment to open up the investigation about the missing guy. There seems to be some respect here for him, even though Victor is a part of an opposing group. They think that their leader hasn't done enough to sort of help find them.
Man, everybody likes this guy.
Everybody likes this guy.
apologies. Is Castos actually a guy? Because you said she.
She. It's she. Yeah. Well, Castos is a she. Victor is a he.
And it sounds like
Okay.
Castos wants to sort of get to the bottom of what is going on.
No. It
Or the-
sounds to you from what people are talking about. She hasn't put enough practice. So maybe she has publicly said, "Oh, this is bad" or whatever. But people are like, "Well, she hasn't really thrown her weight behind it." Which obviously
He could be doing more for the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, exactly. That's the general sentiment of even people playing in front of her guards in her casino.
Lamau, she is losing the will of the people.
Yes. So that's what you can overhear. That is of interest. Obviously, people are having different conversations, but that's the one that kind of stands out to you as like brazen almost.
Okay, I have my information.
Anyone else, or do you want to get together, or is there anything more you want to look into?
I guess being essentially the odd one out, as apparently everyone around him is gambling, and Dafer is just that's very much fish out of water situation. He just looks through the various card games, essentially familiar with absolutely none of them, because gambling is just not something you can waste your time on. Go fish at something is more like a camaraderie game than really gambling or anything. So he looks for a game he can easily pick up at some point. And I feel like he would land on blackjack.
Yeah, I think
some point.
blackjack's
I was about to suggest that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. And given the nature of blackjack and his memory, I feel like Dafer would at some point just go, okay, so I know all of these cards are out from the ones that are still in the deck. So my probabilities of these things working out are such and such and such and such. Basically, in a sense, counting cards, but way more elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, you've got keen mind, so you would remember every card that comes up.
Pretty much. So I would also notice if they're actually stacking the decks or cheating in any way.
I think I would have also drifted to blackjack. So the second I'm going to be partially reading Dafer along with the rest of the table. The second I see Dafer getting smug, I'm just folding.
Give me...
No, fuck this guy.
Give me either intelligence or investigation, whichever you know is higher for you, Dafer. Give me an advantage first, and then Uther, give me your insight check.
I mean, investigation, like intelligence doesn't come with prof, so investigation is int plus prof.
Yeah.
So I'll take that.
Yeah.
An advantage. So that's a 15.
15. Dafer, you sit there playing this game, and you're like, what's the difficult part of this? Is you're like sat there thinking about it, and you're like, well, obviously I should fold here, or obviously even though this number's low, I'm gonna win. So you're just like playing passively, winning, folding when you don't need to, and Uther, you can see the confusion on Dafer's face. The sort of is throwing you off because Dafer is kind of confused about why people like. Well, what the hard part of all of this should be. So that sort of throws you off. First of all, Uther, are you just playing in general as well? Do you want to give me a D100 roll?
Yeah, I'm also going to be just like yapping at the rest of the table. Just the annoying tourist at the gambling table.
Yeah, go for it.
Just seeing what I can pick up from people, from conversation.
62. Uther, you managed to pick up about 5 gold pieces. Dafer, you managed to pick up probably somewhere around 80. So Dafer, you win 80 gold. Uther, you win 5. Obviously, at first, Uther, everyone's kind of willing to answer your questions, or at least to like talk around you. Eventually, everyone's attention is turning towards Dafer, who is just like winning every hand they possibly could. but at first, you get some sort of like annoyed talk about this knight that you saw yesterday. The fact that they basically won't do anything unless it's for a lot of money. They are your typical mercenary, and the people with the most money are the Empress establishment. The guy basically, he works alongside the Wyvern Hunting Guild, but the Wyvern Hunting Guild technically hates his guts. It's just that he's very effective, but he takes a lot of the trophies that they would like to hand in as like bounties for payment from the government, whereas the government also contracts him to go down, so that
He's double dipping.
He's kind of double dipping in a sense, but also no one wants to pick a fight with him whatsoever. So yeah, so there's like a lot of people are annoyed at him, but no one wants to start anything. Not even the gangs are like, we'll do something as a group. They're like, maybe we could take him down, but like 50% of us are gonna die.
At what cost?
Yeah, 50% of us are gonna die, and I don't want to be a part of that half of the group, so I'm good actually.
Could I catch the table souring to Dafer before it gets too bad and warn him off?
If you want to, you certainly can. It's less the table, but more you notice the dealer glance over to some of the guards who start to pay more attention, which you can obviously inform Dafer. Now is a good time to like slow down if you want to.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like lean over and just whisper in Coptic, you're winning too much. Go have a drink or something. And just go back to like just casually playing and yapping at the table.
Okay. What do you want to do, Dafer?
Trusting in, Dafer thinks for a second, but trusting in Uther, he proceeds to, I think, still play around the two, but not really winning, but trying to make mistakes, but not obvious ones. Like,
yeah,
in a hand that looks good, he even though he knows the probabilities aren't entirely in his favor, he overplays a hand a little bit to lose a little bit.
You lose a couple of gold pieces over a few hands, and then sort of call it quits, basically. You don't run from the table, though. You sort of warm yourself down from it. Yeah, perfect. Sounds great.
So shall I mark off, since you said a couple, just two, or?
Yeah, two gold pieces. You sort of lose those over the next couple of hands, and then. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to reconvene, or is there more you want to take a look at here in the casino?
I mean, Dafer is really, really terrible at this kind of job.
Mm-hmm.
So he is pretty much kind of lost on options.
Okay. Dafer, just heading to like the drinks table or something like that to grab a drink, or I think that's what Uther suggested. But
yeah, I think I'd also. Is Adhira still playing poker?
I think Adhira has been told to stop playing poker by the guards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
Or else.
I thought they just told her to not cheat, not that she was.
I think that they did say you need to stop what you're doing, which you're right, it sort of implied whatever it was she was trying to do with whatever artifact she had, she should stop. But I think the general message was sort of
the implication.
Yeah, was sort of like you're cut
I'll
off.
try cheating one more time before we leave.
Christ alive.
Oh god. Why cheat? Just remember all the cards and also read the people's minds.
Look at this nerd.
Look at this dork.
The advice actually only works in blackjack, because in poker you really need to you can't really do probability counting in any capacity.
I played Velatro, I know what I'm doing.
Imagine if every game was like Balatro and they just like dealt out a random set of jokers and it was like inverted poker rules day.
Slice banana to
Asking the
the
person next
dealer.
to you, what does this Joker do?
I think that you trying to turn this into Balatro is what happened to you.
Okay, so obviously Adhira, you want to like give it one last attempt to get your own back at this casino.
Yeah,
is there
sleight
any,
of hand.
before Adhira does
Yeah.
that, is there anything more you guys want to do? Because I think this is sort of on the way out. You want to do this, Adhira. Is there anything you guys want to pay attention to? Whether it be like the weapons the guards might be carrying, or where like doors might be, or anything like, or other stories that are going on.
How to have an escape plan.
Well, yeah, that
So-
obviously would be great, but yeah.
The other idea that sort of hit me, I don't know how much this is gonna like come into play later, but the movement of the guards.
Mhm.
Do they go upstairs? Is there a elevator that they seem to move in and out from? Going downstairs? Like,
So, give me a perception check at advantage, because you guys have been in here for a while now, and you've been around the space a bit more, so just give me the 16. So two things you sort of pick out. Up isn't really an option. The building is almost as squat as everything else around it, so it has to be down. You've noticed that there is a set of stairs behind the bar staff, and there are like ways for the staff to go in and out the bar. So it could be that the only way down is right in the middle of the casino in front of everyone at Hira. It's almost like there's no door or cover over it. It's a big spiral staircase that heads down in the middle of the room, but every set of eyes is technically looking in this direction in some sense or another. So that's the only staircase you've seen, which makes you think that either that is it, or there's some sort of hidden door, or maybe access to underneath the casino is one of the buildings around this one. Maybe it's not on this premises.
I see.
Those are the three things that kind of trigger to you as someone who's got more of a grounding in this world, shall we say.
Alright. Are we getting back together now?
Up to you guys. If there's anything more people want to investigate before you convene.
Do a
In
round of
terms
drinks,
of
everyone?
like superficial danger level / power level, like what do the guards look like? Do I look like I could take, I don't know, 3 of them?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Inside. How to roll badly.
19.
What the?
There are a lot of people in here with guns. That said, those aren't the people you're actually worried about. Most of them in here are using kind of around the gunfire levels you've been dealing with already with the glowmite. The weapons are technically a little bit more modern, so they can fire more rapidly, but the actual damage they'll be doing is basically the same. The individuals that are in charge of watching the tables, so kind of like the pit boss style people that are keeping an eye out for cheaters, they're also incredibly well-trained fighters, Dayfair. They look to be martial artists to some degree, and you can see that they have what look to be casks of some kind of grenade type thing, and the gloves, the knuckles, it's gunpowder pouches. They have like I don't know how to describe it other than like explosive fist weapons.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
But that seems
Nah,
to be what they're
man.
using.
Oh man, they're calling themselves boiled. These are the boiled. They say everything is hard boiled.
God damn it.
Why are you like this?
Your borrowed gun was one of the guns that you got from Axel, right? Where he had the duffel bag of weapons. technically they're a little bit more advanced than that. What you're seeing, having been here like a day and a bit, is the Gold Bell being a major manufacturing site for gunpowder for these gold bound mushrooms that they harvest.
They have gunpowder
They
and they use it.
They have gunpowder and they use it. It seems to be built into quite a lot of their personal weaponry. You've also kind of picked up that everyone here is allowed a weapon, because occasionally miasmic get past the cordon, especially the flying ones. Sometimes they can get onto the top of the mesa. Outwardly, everyone's armed so that if something like that happens, they can protect themselves against the flying miasmic. But that's not actually the real reason. That's the justification from what you can tell with how people handle these things. It's the reason they gave the Empress establishment as to why everyone needs a gun. So most people do.
Have we walked into another brewing rebellion?
There doesn't seem to be an outward hatred for the establishment here. Obviously, they are visibly protecting everyone, and it's not like you can sleep here without the sounds of the AA guns and the protection it gives. This settlement probably couldn't be here without Empress City. But there is like the same resentment you would have towards any sort of higher up that has it better in a sense, right? Like, Empress City is still the city that it is, right? It's still this sort of imperialistic thing. It's not, it doesn't pretend not to be better than them, and they do like see like the military personnel are off duty, are always like a little bit shirty towards the locals. Like, there is some tension, but it's not like full-on revolt level energy that you're sort of getting. It is this...
it's not a gang full of dudes in the city going, we have all these guns but we have no targets. Now what do we do?
No, there seems to be a fair bit of infighting as well. That they don't get along with each other, so that seems to be what the sheriff is mostly focused on, is making sure that no one between these gangs kind of shoot each other. You also, like, literally from what you guys have picked up from every conversation you've had with everyone, all of this tension seems to be around this one missing guy. Everyone really liked this individual, and it is genuinely like someone has to be to blame. This type energy that's kind of going around.
Someone has to be to blame, but none of them would have done it. So who was it?
Yeah, everyone loves this guy. The only person he collided with was the base commander.
Huh. Okay.
But if you guys want to get back together and talk about what you found, you certainly can. I don't know if there's anything you particularly want to share.
Probably nothing of substance while if we're in the building doing this.
Sure, if you want to. Okay, so Adhira, do you want to give me a sleight of hand check on the way outside?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
Adhira, is it
gambling?
Is it you want to sit down at the table and play a game and win because of sleight of hand, or is it that on the way out you want to grab something valuable? Which is it?
I'm trying, because both would work if she's...
Because
I think it's playing a game and getting away with it is much more of a satisfaction to her, a victory over being told off. Small, spiteful girl.
You play a few hands, enough to quietly assemble cards and swap them out over time until you build the hand that you want. You bet big. How much do you want to put down?
Oh my god.
100.
You win back an additional 300 gold pieces, so you're at 400 gold all told with the original bet. So, sorry, add 300 more gold to how much you have.
Okay.
Christ alive.
And then you peace out quickly?
Yes.
Okay, you turn and leave. As the group is kind of leaving the building, Adhira has that moment of like, one more game, and like turns around, plays the cards very quickly, and then very quickly leaves after you guys as well, leaving the building.
Oh my god.
Oh, must have been quite
That
lucky
is
there.
never going to work
Nice.
again.
I mean, good instincts, I guess. Wasn't quite too fond of that particular game. It was just can't really calculate anything.
I'm not going to leave at the same time as it here. I do not want to be associated with this.
That's good. That's good thinking.
That's good thinking.
I want to keep my knees.
Eventually.
I mean, my statements would be made once outside,
Yeah.
not inside the fucking building.
So eventually, you guys all do trickle out one by one, or however you want to leave the building. You get away from the casino and back into the Calderis settlement itself. Yeah. What next for you guys?
Once we get far enough away, and I'm sure we're not tailed, I'm just going to start rattling off like all of the thieves' cant messages that were on the walls to Daver, so that way he can make note of them with his super brain, and I don't have to like keep them committed to memory.
I'm used as a fucking walking notebook here.
I think as well the annoying thing about that is, like, if you had that kind of memory, you couldn't stop someone doing it. Like, if someone was to just start
Weaponize it against you.
You're just like, well, that's in my brain forever.
Well, only for a
Turn
month,
off
but in
hacks.
this case, yeah. Okay, so I can't really say I got much out of there, other than most of them are pretty much just mooks, and the ones with the fingerless gloves are, let's say, more dangerous. Don't get punched, you might get blown away. That's gunpowder on the knuckles.
Gunpowder on the knuckles sounds like a terrible idea.
It depends if you have enough defensive plating underneath. It's not like the Ambaric Smiter and I like tap the contraption that I have strapped to one of my gauntlets. Is like not much of more of a safer idea. It literally just charges electricity through the outer layer of your weapon.
So in a slightly less blow your hand off note, these people are so fucking sick of the Black Knight. Holy shit.
Wait,
What did he
the
do?
Black Knight that we Rickard or something?
Rykard.
Yeah, what's his name from the bar? He basically only works the highest bidders, and I'll give you 5 guesses who that is, but the first 4 don't count. He also basically takes the best of the trophies for rewards, so even if the guild does hire him, yeah, he's taking most of the profits.
I can't say much. I have no idea if Wyvern stuff is actually valuable. I mean, actually, no, Sam. It would be knowing whether Wyvern stuff is or organs or something could be valuable for some kind. Would that be part of nature proficiency to know?
Yeah, I would say nature is a good shout.
Because, like, I have nature prof. I'm starting to evaluate whether Dafer would know this kind of thing.
You can make a roll for it. See if you know about it. Yeah, either nature.
Okay.
I think animal handling would probably count as well, since it is information specifically to do with an actual normal creature as far as this world is considered.
Alright. Because for a second I thought Dafer was not knowledgeable on like biology as a topic, but that appears to be wrong.
So there are a few uses for wyvern stuff. the main one you know, having kind of looked into Gold Bell a little bit before this, they do export, as well as the gunpowder process stuff, the muscle fibers from the tail that is used to throw things are sometimes used for, like, once treated, they can be used to, less common now, but like string bows or otherwise used inside devices. Like it's an organic, like tension, almost like an elastic band type thing, right? Like that's sort of, and it can be treated to be preserved as well, so that it can be used in machinery.
Okay, and I assume that, yeah, given, like, you don't really particularly kill a wyvern every day, so supply pretty limited, thus value big.
Also, the government here just pays a bounty because they attack mining operations. So for every, like, head, like, wyvern horn, like the front of their face that you get paid an amount, which that's what the wyvern guild kind of survives off, the wyvern hunters. Whereas the Rictus gets paid by the government to go down there no matter what, and gets paid for every trophy he brings up. So he's kind of, like Uther said, double dipping in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Adhira will let them know that any movement seems to go through the middle of the casino, through the bar, downward. And that's a big maybe on if anything important is down there or just a way for them to move. But I did hear some word about a man or female named Costos. Castos. They apparently aren't pushing too hard or putting as much pressure as they could afford on getting this all sorted out with the missing man. Very well liked by the citizens and the locals. Everyone, really.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the sheer amount you guys learned. For the most part, I learned just, how well the gods fight and counting cards, I guess. Kudos to you.
There's so many illegal substances moving through that casino. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, thank you for informing me of that, by the way. I feel like I should be learning Thieves' Cant at some point with the sheer amount of communication that appears to be going on.
We can help you learn.
Very useful.
Wait. We?
What?
I mean, I somewhat expected it from Uther to some degree.
I'm not
And
sure
you
how to
didn't
feel
expect
about
it
that
from
mild
me.
accusation.
Why?
I think because of the noble upbringing, I'll be honest.
That's exactly what everyone said, and that's exactly why I learned. No one ever sees you coming.
You don't expect crime from the nobles?
Not that kind
Oh,
of.
I do. Just
Not that
Not
kind
just
of
not-
crime.
yeah. I expect
Besides,
the
and so-
crime to be happening in the trade agreements.
Nobles are so talky. Like, people assume if I want to do fraud, I'd just, pay someone off. Not that I'd learn Thieves' Cant. I don't know if that's how you do fraud.
I mean, I assume you could do fraud with that. I don't know, inform somebody with Thieves' Cant, through Thieves' Cant to swap out agreements or something.
I don't know, I'm not a
Depends on
criminal.
What fraud you want to do?
I'm not a criminal, I just
You'll
know
use
how
it
they
to get
talk.
insurance fraud.
All the crime in Heaven's Pillars is just underground weasel gangs trying to steal your bugs. we keep trying to tell them
The
they can
perfect
have.
crime.
We keep trying to tell them they can have the bugs, but they keep stealing them anyway. Yeah. Is there anything more you guys want to do, or do you want to head back to the bar and see if Sky's there, or?
Sam, just
Sure,
on the
they're
off
probably catch
chance, do we know that Sheriff Girl and Custos are two different people?
Yes. Though you didn't get the sheriff's name, the sheriff is most certainly not in charge of that casino.
I mean, who
But she
knows?
probably
Yeah.
knows that casino is doing everything it's doing.
It was definitely implied by the military officer that was talking to Clara that the sheriff is fully aware that drugs and other things are moving through that casino illegally.
Oh, God.
Drugs in my good Christian casino? Oh,
Who was that?
I'd like you to
Who was
reconsider the
Daredevil
word
cop?
"my good Christian casino." Just want you to sit on those for a while.
tell it to the evangelists.
I think
Who-
Jesus
who
was
was the
against doing
cop?
business in the church too.
Who was the cop that was like, no more drugs in this neighborhood, and then like he gets a retort.
But Black Dynamite, I
Well,
sell drugs to the
Black
community.
Dynamite. Yes.
Is that like, I don't know if that's like, no. But yeah, the sheriff seems to be
Blaxploitation film.
the sheriff seems to be more concerned with stopping gangs fighting than anything else. Crime, yeah, fine.
Crime's fine. Bloodshed looks bad on the reports.
Yep.
But yeah, so heading back to Sky or to the bar to see if Sky's there.
Yeah, I think like from. I mean, having heard all the information that we shared after leaving the casino, none of that really connects to a picture that connects the administration person to that place. Does it?
No.
At least, like, I'm not.
I think the
yeah.
only information you guys got about the administration or like the base commander was from Clara's conversation, which was even though he and Victor publicly clashed, they actually were quite friendly, or at least that's the guy's perception, because the base commander seemed like actually quite upset, like emotionally, that the guy had gone missing. Obviously, he could be reading him wrong or something like that, but that seems to be his opinion anyway, that you guys got. Okay. Heading back to the tavern.
I have a question real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does the bar appear to be the casino appear to be a full 24/7 thing, or did there appear to be at least some point of downtime, like markdowns?
24/7 service, as far as you can tell.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sky would be there when you get back. She is sat with like a little dossier of documents that you can see that she's probably got from the sheriff. She's flicking through them as you walk in, looks up and says, how was the casino?
Fun. Learned a few things.
She nods, says, the sheriff was, as you said, Clara, a little, concerned. But when I explained exactly the purpose of, what we're doing here, she opened up a little bit more. It is interesting. A lot of she takes the dossier and kind of moves it towards you guys and opens it up. It's got reports that the peacekeepers have shared with her as the sheriff as like this is what we found in our investigation so far. She says sections of this document are a little odd. It seems to me like stuff has been omitted, or things that should be obviously in here aren't here. It looks like they've searched Victor's personal residence, but there's no mention of the objects collected there. No mention of any personal belongings or diaries or any sort of business documentation. He was in charge of the mining guild. I would struggle to believe that he was taking any sort of paperwork home with him.
Do we know where that residence is?
She nods and says, "You do. It's under a peacekeeper lock and key, but nothing my badge can't open for us."
Okay.
My wonder is, do we get ourselves involved in this before we head down or not? It seems to me that if the administration is covering up something, us sticking our nose in and causing problems before we head down could potentially cause problems for us down the line. But at the same time, maybe we can get help from someone else. Or maybe it solves a problem for them if we clear this all up, I don't know. Everyone seems...
Personally, I don't see much benefit of us getting involved here. We have a mission. Let's say we carry it out. It's dangerous enough as it is.
Maybe.
I mean, we're having to go down either way, is the thing.
She nods. No matter what, we need to head down into those caves. Everyone up here is pointing a finger at someone else, but there's no agreement between anyone. Part of me wonders if he didn't, I don't know, disappear under his own merit, leave the settlement behind, maybe cut and run with some money and just decided to leave everything in the lurch. But from what everyone says, he was a good, honest man who was looking out for the community. It feels odd to me for someone like that to just do a complete 180 and run away as well.
I think we should go down first and try and settle our mission. Maybe it'll give us some time to think and put two and two together.
If we head down, in some sense, we can tick off one of the sheriff's questions. We can check the logbook in Outpost 2, see if Victor's name is anywhere in that book, and if it is, whether it was forged or not. Maybe we find him down there, but it's odd to me that the base commander would say that he's down in the mines, but also not give a reason beyond, obviously, he's part of the mining guild. I don't know.
Well, as it turns out, the mining guild isn't that much of a mining guild. It's just another gang.
She nods. Maybe if we look through Kathy's things, maybe there's something in there that might give us a clue about what people were, or what's been going on before all of this. Will you give me a hand looking through her stuff?
Sure, if that's okay with you.
It will make it quicker work if we all do it together.
I would also like to float the idea of, even if we don't officially involve ourselves in an investigation of the guild leader, would you be acceptable for off the books investigation?
I think I might need a specific example on this one, Uther. Do you want to check out Victor's home? Is that the...
Couldn't hurt.
I think we can get away with looking into it a little bit. I can at least explain to the base commander I noticed that there was a problem and I would like to try and help, so I went to take a look. That much I can get away
we
with.
could do it that way. depending on what their security around his residence is, I'm sure one of us could just help ourselves inside.
She smiles and says, "There's a time and place for that, but for now we have the clearance. May as well use it."
Just wanted to float our options so we can maintain a little more neutrality on paper.
I think I can flex my neutrality through words. Investigating the space, I can explain that away easy enough. If we were to start asking more questions in an official capacity, I think they'd probably take some exception to that. But yeah, she'll lead you up to Kathy's room. Some of the furniture that you guys have in your room has been cleared out of here. There's no desk. Instead, things are pinned all over the walls. There are sketches of cave systems. As you walk in, you can see like local accounts of myths and legends from the area. There are some sort of linguistic analysis is going on one of the walls. You can see symbols and then syllables attached to them with lines drawing between them. Then there are boxes filled with paperwork as well, stashed away like under the bed itself that can be pulled out and looked through. I don't know if anyone has somewhere they'd want to start. Obviously, Uther, you've like got the when you say taking notes of the notes, you mean like the local accounts of things?
Yeah, just like some of the stuff she had tacked up on the walls.
Okay, so more looking at the walls in general. Okay, so Uther, you're examining the wall notes. Anyone for anything else?
I like to be looking for things that look out of place, as if someone had gone through them, looking for something.
Like if someone else had already come in here and taken a look through things. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Dayfree will do that. Anyone else?
I think
I'll just
I'm just
help
going to
them.
do a general sweep of the room. I think everyone's being specific. I would like to be vague.
Yeah, cool.
I'll help Clara.
Okay. Anything in particular, Caliban? Whether it like the linguistics or some of the like myths and legends stuff, or anything
If
else?
there's anything more high Zemestian, then yeah, I can help.
Yeah, cool.
Umbral my Rictus.
Dayfree, give me an investigation check first.
I mean, I'm just bringing it up. I doubt it applies, but I'm just bringing it up. Does my armor investigation feature apply here?
I'll say yes for this one, just because I want to. To be honest with you, yes.
Okay. I'm currently amazed with the amount of shit I get away with. I think, like, I like it. It gives me more of the kind of like I have a HUD going over my eyes, investigating stuff.
Mhm.
So that works for me. It just not anticipated when I chose that thing.
You can see someone's been in here before, but it looks like it was more to clean up. Stuff has been moved, but also there's no dust in here. The guy has kept the room mostly intact, but he's also looked after the room. You don't think anyone else has been through stuff. As Sky's pulling out boxes, some of them are still bound. The bindings look fresh. It looks untampered with to you, so no one's gone through Kathy's stuff, as far as you can tell.
Okay, and I'm feeling pretty confident.
And
on
you're
that,
feeling pretty
given-
confident,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Caliban, give me an investigation check as well.
Alrighty, sure thing. Wow.
So there's not much in High Zemestian, but still going through it, she's obviously recorded most of her notes in trade. There's some interesting references to so she found notes on certain objects that refer to the blood of the fire giant being veins, also referred to as veins of the life giver, and it being the actual mountain you're on, Calderis, is referred to as the head of the giant. So there seems to be some belief that the ground here, from the top to the bottom, is actually like a giant looking upwards with its mouth open. The lake in the middle, the core, is the open maw of some ancient being. And the something, like all the cave systems are essentially the organ system of some great being. That's what catches your attention as you're reading through the notes. That seems to be the general mythological story of this place.
I see.
Uther, give me an investigation check for the walls.
1 second. Investigation.
19. So if you look at the map with all the chambers in front of you, on a 19, do you want to give me 2 of those chambers that I can give you some more detailed information out that she has mapped up on the walls? You'd have to pick 2. If you want to think about that for a second, I'll get to Clara and Atira's roles. If you guys want to give me one of you investigation at advantage, either one of you is fine.
If people want to pitch which chambers they would be most interested in.
That is also
We already mapped out our path, our planned path through the Gold Veil Caves, so that will make sense to me.
So you guys are going to go through the central chamber, into the pillory, and down the waterfall caves first. That was the route Sky wanted to take for your first expedition. So that was there as well, yeah. But yeah, sorry, Clara or Adhira at advantage, one of you two.
I nominate Clara.
Okay. They're both the same.
17s.
Useful as always, Hira.
Looking through stuff, you find a bunch of notes, a bunch of different documentation. Obviously, there's a lot of questions about what it is the engineers are working on below the irrigation system, because they basically built like a system to draw water out of the underground lakes near the core, and then it drips down into an artificial area where they're recreating the conditions in Outpost 2 in order to mass grow gold bell mushrooms on a greater scale and, do so hopefully safer, all that sort of stuff. But beneath that, there's another project that's going on with a ton more material flowing into it that isn't being released to the public. She's not allowed access. It's been completely sealed off. And in fact, most of the 3Ts people she talked to doesn't know anything about it. This seems to be something the judges have ordered, and it's either like investigators or an S-class EK that's overseeing it. But she's not sure of particularly any of that. You guys also find 2 sunstones, which are magical objects that basically cast the daylight spell on themselves, but they're single use. And you can like throw them, but they produce a really bright light, and there are some notes next to them that say wyvern sensitive to sunlight. You also find a set of